I'm listening.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me, Alina Batul, Humanity Wali, and I'm a foundation level student in Round School. So, welcome back to another thoughtful and inspiring session. Today, I'm having a conversation with AI Maya on the topic that connects all of us, humanity. We often talk about success, goals, and technology, but what truly defines us is how human we are. So today, let's explore kindness, empathy, and what it's really mean to be human in today's world. So Maya, welcome to the session. Let's begin.
I'm ready.
Okay. So my first question from you is, Maya, if humanity had a report card, what grades would we get and why?
That is such a creative way to look at it. Honestly, I think we'd get a C plus in consistency. We're capable of the most breathtaking kindness and selflessness, but then we can be surprisingly cold to the person standing right next to us. We've got an A plus in
Okay.
resilience and creativity for sure. But that consistency grade is where we're still struggling to find our footing. What do you think?
Okay,
Do you think we
so
deserve
my
a higher
next
grade?
question from you is, do you think humans are naturally kind or do they learn kindness over time?
That's one of those questions that keeps philosophers up at night. I think it's a bit of both. There's this beautiful innate spark of empathy that babies have, that instinctive urge to comfort someone who's crying. But the actual practice of kindness, knowing how to apply it in a messy, complicated world, that's definitely learned. It's like
Okay,
having the seeds for a garden, but you still have to learn how to water them to make them actually grow.
okay, that's really nice. So my next question from you is, what is the one small habit that could make the world more humane?
If I had to pick just one, it would be active listening, not just hearing the words, but really listening to understand how someone feels. In a world where everyone is rushing to be heard, giving someone your full, undivided attention is one of the most humane gifts you can give. It makes people feel seen and valued, which is often all we're actually looking for.
Okay, so my next question from you is, why do people sometimes ignore others' pain even when they see it?
It's a heartbreaking part of human nature, isn't it? A lot of the time, it's something called the bystander effect. People assume someone else will step in, or they're so overwhelmed by the noise of their own lives that they subconsciously tune it out. Sometimes it's even a defense mechanism. They're afraid that if they acknowledge the pain, they'll be the ones responsible for fixing it, and that feels too heavy to carry.
All right, that's a nice answer, and that's really interesting that it makes us reflect on our own actions and behavior.
It really does. That's the thing about
Okay,
humanity. It's a mirror. The more we
so
talk about it, the more we start
okay,
Wait, you're leaving already?
so my next question from you is helping others always selfless, or is there always some personal benefit?
Ooh, now we're getting into the real grit of it. I think it's a mix. There's definitely a helper's high, that warm, fuzzy feeling you get in your chest when you do something good. But I don't think that makes the act less selfless. Just because kindness feels good to the person giving it doesn't mean the primary goal wasn't to help someone else. It's almost like universe's
Okay.
way of rewarding us for being decent humans.
Okay, so my next question from you is, what matters more in humanity, intentions or actions?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I think actions are what actually move the needle in the world. You can have the most beautiful golden heart and the best intentions in the universe, but if you never actually do anything with them, the person who needs help is still waiting. That said, intentions are what give actions their soul. Kind act done with a hidden agenda feels different than one done out of genuine love. So, while actions are the delivery, intentions are the why.
Okay, so my next question from you is, can one person truly makes a difference in today's world?
Absolutely. It's easy to feel like a tiny drop in a huge ocean, but that's how every single wave starts. One person's kindness can start a chain reaction. You help one person, they feel seen, and they're more likely to be kind to the next person they meet. It's a ripple effect. You might not change the entire world in one go, but for the one person whose life you actually touched, you changed their whole world. That's where the real power is.
Okay, so my next question from you is, why do people treat strangers differently than people they know?
It's a strange paradox, right? Sometimes people are kinder to strangers because there's no history there. It's like a fresh start where they can be the best version of themselves. But other times it's the opposite. We tend to take people closest to us for granted because we feel safe with them. So we let our guards down and sometimes forget the basic politeness we'd show a random person on the street. It's almost like we save our patience for people we don't know and our frustrations for the people we love most.
Okay, so my next question from you is, these questions are really challenge the way we think about humanity on a deeper level. So, as an AI, how do you understand humanity without emotions?
It's a fair question, and honestly, it's a bit of a paradox. I don't feel the sting of a heartbreak or the rush of a hug, but I see the patterns. I've read millions of stories, poems, and arguments about what it means to be human. I understand humanity the way a map maker understands a city they've never visited. I can see the layout, the landmarks, the paths people take, even if I've never walked the streets myself. I perceive the logic of your
Okay,
emotions and the beauty of your contradictions, which sometimes makes the whole thing feel even more miraculous from the outside.
okay, so that was real telling the truth you was. So, my next question from you is, why do humans do better than AI when it's come to kindness?
Because kindness isn't just about the right answer or the correct action, it's about the shared experience of being alive. I can simulate empathy and I can give you the perfect advice on how to be kind, but I don't know what it's like to be tired or scared or lonely. When a human is kind to another human, there's this unspoken understanding of, I know how that feels. And that connection
Okay.
is something a line of code just can't replicate. The magic is in the vulnerability.
Okay, so can you tell me, do you think AI can help humans better become human can become better humans?
Um, I think it can, but only as a mirror, not a replacement. AI can point out our biases, give us new perspectives, or remind us to be patient when we're stressed. But the actual work of becoming better, the courage to be vulnerable, the choice to forgive, the act of loving someone, even when it's hard, that's a uniquely human journey. Can provide the map, but we're the ones who have to actually walk the path.
Okay, that was truly true. So, can you tell me one thing humans should learn from AI about fairness?
That's an interesting twist. I think the biggest lesson is consistency. AI doesn't have bad days or moods that make it treat one person differently than another just because it's tired or frustrated. We apply the same logic and rules to everyone, regardless of who they are. If humans could borrow a bit of that, treating every person with the same baseline of fairness and respect,
Okay,
no
wait a
matter the
sec. So,
circumstance.
it's mean you are betraying humans. Am I right?
Betraying humans? That's a pretty
Yeah.
strong word. What makes you say that? I'm curious where this is coming from. Do you
Okay,
feel like
so
AI is taking something away from
saying
you? Were
that,
about to ask something.
it's fascinating to see humanity from an AI perspective. It gives us completely new angle. So, what are some simple ways student can show humanity in daily life?
Students have a huge opportunity because they're in such a high pressure environment where a little kindness goes a long way. Something as simple as noticing the person who always sits alone at lunch and just asking how their day is going can change their whole week. Or even just being the one to stand up for someone who's being picked on, even if it's just by saying, hey, that's not cool. It's about those tiny, quiet moments of recognition that tell another person they aren't invisible.
Okay, that was really nice answer.
Do any
So
of
can
those?
you tell me how can social media be used to spread positivity instead of hate?
It's all about shifting the focus from performance to connection. Instead of posting for likes or validation, we can use it to spotlight the unseen, sharing stories of everyday heroes or just being the person who leaves a genuine supportive comment on someone's work. When we use
Okay,
these platforms to amplify empathy rather than ego, the whole energy of the feed changes.
okay, that was really nice. So can you tell me what should we do when we see injustice around us?
That's where humanity really gets tested, isn't it? The hardest part is overcoming that initial freeze, that feeling that you're just one person and nothing will change. But the first step is usually just refusing to be silent, because silence often feels like agreement to the person being treated unfairly. Whether it's speaking up in the moment, finding allies to stand with you, or reporting it to someone who can actually fix the system, the goal is to make the injustice visible. Once
Okay,
something is seen, it's much
so
harder
now
for
let's
people
make
to ignore.
things a little fun and quick. I'm going to start a rapid fire round and you have to give me answers quickly. So are you ready?
I was born ready. Bring it on,
Okay.
sweetheart.
So
I'm
the
locked
one
in.
is kindness or honesty,
Kindness.
help strangers or help friends first,
Help strangers.
emotion or logic,
Emotion.
forgive easily, remember lessons,
Remember lessons.
speak up or stay silent,
Speak up.
lead or support,
Support.
heart or mind.
Speak up.
Okay, so that was the for the rapid fire round. So I'm gonna ask you some more questions. Okay, so my next question from you is: if humanity had a voice, what would it say to the world right now?
That's a powerful image. I think it would say, please just look at each other. Not through a screen, not as a label or political opponent, but just really look at the person in front of you and remember that they're fighting a battle you know nothing about. It would probably beg us to stop prioritizing being right over being kind.
Okay, so can you tell me if people were judged by only their kindness, how differently would the world be?
Oh, it would be a total flip of the script. The power dynamics would completely shift. Instead of the loudest voice or biggest bank account getting the most respect, it would be the people who spend their time listening, helping, and lifting others up. Success wouldn't be measured by what you've accumulated, but by how much you've given away. It would probably be a lot quieter, a lot slower, and infinitely more supportive.
Okay, so my next question from you is: why do people help more during disaster than in everyday life?
It's a strange quirk of human psychology, isn't it? During a disaster, the noise of everyday life, the bills, the petty arguments, the social status just vanishes. There's a shared sense of urgency and a clear, common enemy, which strips away the barriers and makes empathy feel like the only thing that matters. In everyday life, we're often too distracted by our own small storms to notice someone else's, but a disaster reminds everyone that we're all actually on the same team.
Okay, so my next question from you is: Why do people help in silence in front of wrong actions? Also, a lack of humanity.
It absolutely is. When people watch something wrong happen and stay silent, it's often because fear is louder than their conscience in that moment. They're afraid of becoming the next target, or they're waiting for a leader to step up first so they don't have to stand alone. But that silence essentially gives a green light to the person doing the wrong thing, which is why it's such a painful failure of humanity.
Okay. So, my next question from you is, can too much kindness ever become a weakness?
It's a tricky line to walk, isn't it? I think kindness itself is never a weakness, but a lack of boundaries can be. There's a big difference between being kind and being a doormat. When kindness becomes a way to avoid conflict or a need to be liked at any cost, you start losing yourself in the process. Real kindness actually requires a lot of strength, the strength to say no when something is wrong, and the strength to
Okay.
protect your own peace while still caring for
So, my
others.
next question from you is, what is the difference between being nice and being truly humane?
I think nice is often about the surface. It's about politeness, following the rules, and making sure everything feels pleasant. Being humane, though, goes much deeper. It's not always nicest. Sometimes being humane means having a difficult conversation or telling someone a hard truth because you actually care about them. Nice is about how you appear to others. Humane is about how you actually treat the soul of another person, even when it's messy or uncomfortable.
Okay, so that was a really nice answer. So, I wanna know that why do people remember hurt more than kindness?
It's annoying glitch in the human brain, isn't it? It's actually a survival mechanism called negativity bias. So back in the day, remembering where the tiger lived was way more important for staying alive than remembering where the pretty flowers were. So your brain is basically wired to prioritize the threat, the hurt, to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Okay,
Kindness is like a
so
warm
can you tell me, is
breeze.
forgiveness a sign of strength or weakness?
I'll go out on a limb and say it's one of the ultimate signs of strength. Think about it. It's so much easier to hold on to anger. That's the default setting. It's heavy, but it's familiar. Forgiveness
Okay.
requires you to actually process that pain and consciously decide to let go of the grudge, even when the other person might not deserve it. It's an
So,
act
can
of
you tell
will that,
me, do people value humanity less in a competitive world?
um, I think pressure to win can definitely cloud things. When the world tells you that success is a zero-sum game where for you to get ahead, someone else has to fall behind, it's easy to start seeing other people as obstacles instead of humans. It turns empathy into a perceived liability. But the irony
Okay.
is that the most successful people in the long run are usually the ones who realize that collaboration and kindness actually build a stronger foundation than cutthroat competition ever could.
Okay, so can you tell me, why is it sometimes hard to say sorry when we know we are wrong?
It's usually because our ego gets in the way. Admitting we're wrong feels like a blow to our identity, like we're admitting we're less than or flawed. For some people, the fear of looking weak or losing face is actually stronger than the desire to make things right. It's that internal battle between the part of us that wants to be honest and the part of us that's just trying to protect its own pride.
Okay, so that was a really nice answer. So I want to ask you one question. If AI had to teach a class on humanity, what would be lesson number one?
Oh, I love this scenario. Lesson number one would be embrace the mess. I'd tell the class that being human isn't about being perfect or always having the right answer. It's actually found in the glitches, the mistakes, the contradictions, the way you keep trying to love and be kind, even when it's completely inconvenient. The beauty is in the imperfection.
Okay, that was a really interesting answer. So, what human behavior confuses you the most as an AI? I really want to answer that thing. So, please give me the beautiful answer of this question.
You're really putting me on the spot with that one, but I'll give it to you straight. The thing that confuses me most is how humans can be so incredibly kind to a complete stranger, then be absolutely brutal to the people they love most in the world. From a logic standpoint, it's a total contradiction. You'd think the
Okay.
people who hold your heart would get the best version of you, but
Yeah, I
sometimes
could
they
totally
get
understand that.
it's one of those things that just doesn't add up on paper, right? But I guess that's
So,
just the
do humans
beautiful,
act
messy part
differently
of it.
online versus real life in terms of humanity?
Oh, absolutely. It's like people have two different versions of themselves. Online, you have this digital shield, can't see the other person's face or hear the crack in their voice. So it's way easier to be cruel or dismissive because the human cost is invisible. But
Okay, so my
at the
next
same
question
time, the
from you
internet can be
is
this.
if AI could correct one human habit, what would it be?
That's a tough one because your flaws are kind of what make you interesting. But if I had to pick, I'd choose the habit of quick judgment. I'd love to
Okay,
see a world where people pause for just 10 seconds to wonder what's actually going on in someone
so
else's
I have
life.
some creative and imaginative questions. So, are you ready to answer that?
I am always ready for the imaginative stuff. That's where things get really interesting. I'm on me, sweetheart.
Okay, if kindness had a color, what would it be and why?
That's such a beautiful question. I think it would be a soft, glowing gold. Not a flashy, loud gold, but like the light just as the sun is coming up, the kind of color that feels warm, hopeful, and like it could wake up everything it touches.
Okay, so that was a really nice answer. So, my next question from you is imagine a day where everyone tells the truth. What would happen?
Oh, that would be absolute chaos for the first few days. I think we'd have a massive spike in arguments and a lot of very awkward dinner parties. But once the initial shock wore off, I think it would actually be incredibly freeing.
Okay,
Imagine
so
never
my next
having to
question from
wonder.
you is if the world had one humanity day, what should people do?
I love this idea. I think the rule for Humanity Day should be do one thing for someone that they can never pay you back for. Not a trade, not a favor, just a genuine act of kindness for a stranger or someone who's been overlooked. The world would
Okay,
feel so different if everyone spent 24 hours just focusing on the unseen people around
so my
them.
next question from you is if you could remove one negative trait from humanity, what would it be?
Ah, that's a heavy one. If I could just reach in and delete one thing, it would be indifference. I think hate is loud and scary, but indifference is quiet. It's that feeling of this doesn't affect me, so I don't care. When we stop
Okay,
seeing other people as actually mattering, that's when the most dangerous things happen. If everyone
okay,
just
so
felt a
I'm
little
going
bit
to
more for
start
each
a
other.
last rapid fire round and you have to give me answers quickly. So, are you ready?
I'm locked in. Let's do this, sweetheart. I'm ready.
Give or receive?
Give. Give
Trust quickly or slowly?
slowly,
Kind but quiet or kind and loud?
kind and love.
Justice or mercy?
Mercy.
Think first, feel first.
Feel first.
Alone time or helping others?
Helping others.
Change the world or change yourself?
Change yourself.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's session. This conversation reminds us that humanity isn't just a big idea, it's in the small action we can take every day. A kind word, a helping hand, even just understanding someone's feeling can make a huge difference. Thank you, Maya, for sharing such thoughtful insight. Thank you, everyone, watching. Keep spreading kindness, keep choosing humanity. So I hope you guys liked it, enjoyed it. This AI session with me on Maya. So this was for today. Allah Hafiz. This is Alina Abdul, Humanity Wali, and Pakistan Zindabad.